Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the October 4th edition of Carolina Week. Registration starts on Saturday, and Carolina Week has all the information you need to know about the new system.
Exercise is good. Excessive exercise isn't. A look at the damaging eating disorder, anorexia.
In sports, the men's soccer team had a tune-up against High Point before the big match against Maryland on Friday. But did the Panthers have a surprise for the Heels?
Plus, Jonathan O. has a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and competitive chess. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Kate Schoen.
And I'm Alex Villarreal. We turn now to the big thing on every student's mind right now, registration. UNC's class registration system received a major overhaul during the summer, and the changes have left students wondering what to do. Angela Watson joins us live in the studio. Angela, what do students need to know?
Thanks, Alex. Administrator says the old system was long overdue for an upgrade, and they're hopeful the new system will make it easier to sign up for classes.
In the past, registration has been a source of frustration for some students, but a new system has changed the process by randomly assigning students to 4 subgroups, which determines when they can register for classes. Some students, like UNC senior Christina Clare, favor the old system.
I don't know if I really like this new registration system because they just randomly assign you to a certain time slot, and I don't really think that's fair.
In the old system, class and seniority were the only factors that determined when students could sign up for classes. As a result, thousands of students logged online to register at the same time, which caused the system to freeze and prevented other students from logging on. But with the new system, this problem is alleviated. Students are divided into 4 subgroups and randomized within the group, which determines which 15-minute slot they'll have to sign up for classes on registration day. University Registrar Alice Poles says it was time for a change after receiving many email complaints about the previous system.
The system that we used of putting all students in at the same time was causing frustration for students. I was inundated with complaints because students perceived that the system was broken.
However, administrators hope that the new system will prevent, or at least decrease, the number of registration nightmares UNC students experienced with the old system.
I was only signed up for like 3 or 6 hours, and then I had to just randomly add a bunch of classes at the end, so that was kind of disappointing. I didn't really get anything I wanted.
So set your alarms if you're registering early Saturday morning and see how you like the new registration system.
Registration for seniors is this Saturday, followed by underclassmen in the coming weeks.
Angela, students still register according to their year, but how are they grouped after that?
Well, according to the registrar, students are further divided by their last names and randomized within their group. So even if your last name is early in the alphabet, your assigned time might be later than a person in the alphabetical group as yours. Although all this information, included your registration time, is available on Student Central.
Angela Watson reporting live in the studio.
Registration for the spring semester starts this Saturday, which means it's crunch time to decide which classes to take. One website that many students are turning to for help is pickaprof.com. For $7 a semester, students can read reviews of professors posted by previous students. The website also provides information about the grade breakdown in any given class. Many students find the site useful, but others, like Sandro Garverick, don't like to base their decisions on someone else's opinion.
Well, I don't really like Pick a Prof because it takes other people's opinions and puts it on one website, and you look at that to decide whether you want to take the class, and I like forming my own opinion for taking a class first.
Pick a Prof also provides a grading history for each class a professor teaches.
Exciting news for students. Homework isn't necessarily good for you. A recent study indicates that flooding students with homework doesn't help them excel, and there's a lot more to college life than work outside of class. Most UNC courses require a good bit of homework. Sophomore Janelle Parsons thinks it's all about keeping a balance.
I think that if you know that certain classes assign a lot of homework, you don't want to take like 3 of those classes at the same time, or else you're not going to have time to focus equally on all of them.
Many school districts in North Carolina have adopted a more lenient approach to homework, something most UNC students would like to see here.
Ram's Head is open again after a grease fire broke out last night in the dining hall. Students and food service workers promptly evacuated when flames erupted at the Chop House Grill around 6 p.m. The fire was put out within 20 minutes, but rescue workers lingered long afterward, diverting traffic and ventilating smoke. No one was injured. Officials haven't determined the cause yet. Turning to other news on campus, Race Relations Week is only halfway over, but organizers say their goal to educate people about racial issues has already been fulfilled. 2 forums kicked off the week. First, a panel of experts discussed various immigration topics, including border issues.
There are millions of people just like us who are just desperate to work. Not millions of terrorists, not millions of people who are coming here to hurt us.
In another forum, journalists discussed the importance of the media in shaping the way people view race. And Tuesday night, several people attended a discussion about stereotypes of race-based sexual exploitation. Organizer Adrienne Allen says the panels have addressed some really tough issues.
Because we have a lot of really hard-hitting events this week that may make people a little bit uncomfortable, and we sort of, break the boundaries past political correctness just to get these statements out there.
There are many other activities coming up. Thursday night, the president of the North Carolina NAACP will give the keynote address for the week. And Friday night, a benefit concert at Memorial Hall will support Habitat for Humanity. To see a full listing of all the events, check out our website at carolinaweek.org. Race Relations Week is part of an effort to improve the university's cultural and racial climate. One of the major obstacles to this improvement is stereotyping. UNC is widely known for its diverse student body. Walking through the pit, you can see people of all races, religions, and backgrounds. But even with all the diversity on campus, many of us create stereotypes about certain groups. UNC psychology professor David Penn says stereotyping is an automatic process.
When you meet somebody from that other group, whether it's somebody from a certain ethnic group, whether it's somebody with a mental illness, somebody from a different country, somebody who's obese, somebody who we would consider stigmatized, we tend to form those stereotypes automatically upon seeing them.
Penn also says we can fight stereotypes by interacting with people from stigmatized groups.
There is such a thing as too much exercise, and it's a general warning sign of an eating disorder. I spoke with one UNC student who shows us what it's like to be addicted to working out. Every day, Kat Fowler fights a battle within herself. She became anorexic and obsessed with exercise during her junior year of high school. Now recovered and a junior in college, Fowler still struggles with her past.
It's not something you ever get over. I still think about food a lot. I still work out a lot.
Fowler says she worked out more and stopped eating during stressful times.
My body was the one thing I could control. I could control how much went in. I could control how much I worked out. It was like a way to get a hold of my life when something else wasn't going right.
It's a dangerous coping mechanism. At her lowest point, Fowler exercised 7 days a week, 4 hours a day. She weighed 105 pounds, 25 pounds below the minimum healthy weight for her 5'8.5" frame. Doctors told her if she didn't stop punishing her body with exercise, she'd have osteoporosis by age 20.
Your body's hurting, and it will tell you eventually because my body told me.
Fowler's one of a number of people who exercise compulsively, a behavior associated with anorexia. Anorexia affects 0.5% to 1% of Americans.
I just can't understand how they can't.
Director of the UNC Eating Disorders Program, Dr. Cynthia Bulick, says people who suffer from the excessive exercise trait of anorexia are psychologically similar.
People who are excessive exercisers, they seem to have a cluster of personality characteristics. And what we see mostly is perfectionism and obsession.
Fowler says her obsession with exercise began to interfere with her life. It remains a large part of her routine even now. She encourages others like her to be honest with themselves and everyone else.
Don't be ashamed of it because I'm certainly not. You honestly think that it would never happen to you, but if it does, it's okay. And the important thing is to respect yourself.
Anorexia has the highest death rate of any psychological illness. People with the disorder are 12 times more likely to die than others their age.
We often assume our water is clean, but how do we really know?
Coming up, we'll take a closer look at what's being done to ensure that Chapel Hill's water is safe to drink.
When When I found out my jeans were made using child labor in sweatshops, I wrote a letter to the company saying, reconsider your labor practices. A few months later, I get a letter back saying, thanks for being a loyal customer, and they included a coupon for a 25% discount on their jeans. So I got smart, wrote letters every day to all the stores that carry the brand, asking them to stop supporting the companies who use child labor in sweatshops. And I just kept getting letters back, thanking me for my concerns, and more coupons for more discounts on more jeans. So I'm telling my friend about it, and she flips out, saying that between all the letters and coupons, some paper company cut down a small forest, driving off 2 indigenous tribes, hundreds of endangered animals, killing thousands of plant species, some of which may have contained vaccines for HIV, cancer, and syphilis. Meanwhile, the guys cutting down the trees are 13-year-old kids who will work night and day for months just to save up enough money to buy a pair of jeans made by child labor in sweatshops.
Recent discoveries of contaminated water in Cary and Durham have caused many Chapel Hill residents to question the quality of their water. Julia Meyer takes a closer look at water treatment in Orange County.
Water. It's an important part of so many of our daily activities. But how sure are you that the water that comes from your faucet is safe? On August 11th, representatives from the North Carolina Division of Public Health warned Durham residents that their tap water might contain harmful amounts of lead. Less than 2 weeks later, a routine water test in Cary found traces of E. coli in its water. Freshman Emily Rose says that the recent water scares have concerned her.
Well, I live in Cary, and so after my mom had told me that, I did get kind of concerned.
What's happening to water in the Triangle? Could Chapel Hill be next? To answer that question, let's track our water back to its source. Orange County's raw water comes from 2 major sources, University Lake and the Cane Creek Reservoir, which holds more than 3 billion gallons of water. The raw water is pumped to the Jones Ferry Road Water Treatment Plant, where it's processed into drinking water and distributed to the area's more than 70,000 residents. In some cases, chemicals used to treat the water can corrode the leaded solder that fuses the pipes in the treatment plant. Orange County Water and Sewage Authority spokesman Greg Feller says routine tests find that the number of contaminants in Chapel Hill water is well below federal standards.
Every 3 years, we do water tests for 30 homes in our service area, 30 older homes, to see whether there is lead in the water. And so far, we have not found lead in the sampling and analysis that we've done.
In 2005, the Owasso treatment plant was one of only 9 in the country to receive an award for excellence in drinking water treatment. So for now, Chapel Hill, rest assured that the water that flows from the old well is contaminant-free. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julia Meyer, Carolina Week.
If you think your water might contain lead, contact the Orange County Water and Sewage Authority. A worker will test the water at no cost.
A report card evaluating sexual health on a number of college campuses gives UNC a passing grade. In the study conducted by Trojan Brand Condoms, UNC earned an A in contraception and outreach. It earned a B for its website, sexual assault services, advice column, and Q&As. The school received a C for HIV and STI testing and an F for condom availability, a grade UNC health officials dispute. Condoms are available for free at campus health services and are for sale in vending machines across campus. Surveyors collected data about condom availability and other categories solely from the school's website. Sarah Prisbyla says the survey doesn't accurately reflect the availability of condoms at UNC.
We pass out probably close to 60,000 condoms a year, and I find it hard to believe that we would get an F if they knew that information. So again, thinking about how the data was actually collected, I think we do quite a good job.
UNC received an overall rating of 2.7 out of 4. Duke came in at 3.4 and NC State received a 2.3.
Everybody loves a good birthday celebration. Chapel Hill residents gathered on the UNC campus Tuesday to celebrate Thomas Wolfe's 106th birthday. Even the little ones came out to celebrate. At the ceremony, residents paid tribute to the sculpture erected in Wolfe's honor. Chancellor James Measer led the ceremony. He says sculptures like this one are what make the campus beautiful. The sculptor, Richard Kinnaird, was happy to see people come out to honor Wolfe.
It's the only time they'd ever really honored a poet from this campus. And he's a major person. And oh yeah, I was very pleased to be part of that.
The sculpture was a gift to the university in 1966, but it took 40 years for the monument to finally be displayed.
Let's now welcome weathercaster Johnny O. Hi, Johnny. How's it going?
Great.
So I just have one question for you. What happened to fall?
I don't know. It decided to take a fall, or for fall break, it seems like, and definitely it seemed more like summer than fall in the past week, but is this rainbow a sign of showers coming our way? I'll have that answer coming up.
I'm celebrating 32 years of recovery.
I'm celebrating 9 years of recovery.
Estoy celebrando 22 años de recuperación.
I'm celebrating 5 years of recovery.
For more information about National Recovery Month, contact the Alcoholic Drug Council of North Carolina at 1-800-688-4232.
Once you see the world through math and science, you'll never see anything the same way again. Go to girlsgotech.org.
You'll see.
Well, hello and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Jonathan O. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. As Kate and Alex mentioned earlier, it's being warm again. Fall did indeed decide to take a fall break, and it looks like it's going to continue for at least one more day. And then we're going to see a big boom, meaning that we're going to see some rain and showers move through our area, and then we're going to have a very quick cool down. We're talking about temperatures barely reaching into the 60s. And so you're going to have to pull out some of those winter gear and even your rain gear for this coming weekend. Take a look at a national view. We've got this storm system located toward the eastern section of the United States. This storm system brought some severe thunderstorms and even tornado watches for the past couple of days. Fortunately, I don't think we'll be expecting that too much. Currently in our area, very clear skies, and then back to the west of us, some other clouds just brewing around. There's the system, there's the low pressure system that's been giving us, or them actually, a lot of tornadoes and thunderstorms. For us, high pressure system is dominating our weather, and that's the reason why we're seeing very, very nice conditions and warm temperatures. But be aware, it's going to change. We're going to expect some trouble as this low pressure system. Now, this is a view on Friday. There's no system coming to our area that's going to cause us this rain except a cold front. This low, if you can see this, this is North Carolina, and this is right off the coast of North Carolina. This low pressure system will develop and just sit there, and it's going to give us a soggy weekend, unfortunately. For those of you who may be traveling to the beaches, not a good weekend at all because it's going to be rainy. But those of you who may be headed to the mountains, we're going to see maybe a slight chance of showers towards Saturday, and then by Sunday, you're going to see very nice conditions, and so hope you enjoy that. If you're headed to Florida for the game this weekend, there's Coral Gables located right there. It's a game against Miami. It's going to occur on Saturday at noon. Some clouds, unfortunately, possibly some sun, but about a 40% chance of rain. Game time temperature will be around 85 degrees. We mentioned earlier about the benefit concert for Habitat for Humanity. It's at Memorial Hall Friday from 7 to 9:30. Rain will also be expected, so it's definitely a good indoor weather. Temperature will be around 60 degrees, so you may want to dress up a little bit so that it won't be too cold for you on your walk over to Memorial Hall. Tonight, on Wednesday night, increasing cloudiness. It's going to be warmer than earlier with a low of 60 degrees. And then for your next 4-day forecast, this is the big story. Thursday will continue to be warm, and then boom on Friday, thunderstorms, rain, Much colder. Highs will barely make it into the 60s and lows will be in the 50s. If you're headed to the mountains, again, partly cloudy skies. Highs will be in the 70s and lows will be in the 50s. And then for your beach forecast, not a good weekend to go there because we'll be expecting rain and thunderstorms. And it's going to be kind of cool. Highs will be bouncing around the 70-degree mark and lows will be in the mid-50s. So you might want to just go and look at that concert instead this weekend.
It looks to me like that weather's telling us it's time to study for midterms.
Oh, goodness. Yes, definitely.
Thanks, Johnny.
Sportscaster Brandon Curry joins us now. Brandon, I've been hearing about some pretty funky sports.
Funky is a word for it. Coming up in sports, what do you get when you combine primates with martial arts? Monkey Kung Fu, of course. We'll introduce you to this unusual sport coming up.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi? Huh? What have you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Yeah, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
Hey, I'm a bartender, not a parent. Someone underage wants to drink? What do I care? I'm just trying to make the register ring, okay? If they're not drinking here, they're gonna go somewhere else. Who's it hurting anyhow? Can't they have some fun too?
Ignore underage drinking and you open up a way for them to drink. An average of 42 people under the age of 21 die every week in alcohol-related crashes. Say nothing, do nothing, stop nothing.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Brandon Curry, and I can throw a pigskin a quarter mile. Having already knocked off previously top-ranked Virginia at Fetzer Field, the men's soccer team has a matchup against second-ranked and defending national champion Maryland on Friday. Surely the third-ranked Heels wouldn't look past the High Point Panthers Tuesday night, would they? Just before halftime, watch this precision passing. Corey Ash finds Stephen Bickford in the yellow shoes, who taps to Zach Lloyd for the goal, giving UNC the 2-1 lead. In the 60th minute, the Panthers' Brandon Young nets this 20-yard blast over goalie Justin Hughes to tie the game at 2. Later, High Point up 3-2 now. Eddie Ababio tucks home this rebound to knot the score at 3, forcing overtime. To OT we go. Bill Dworsky has not one, but 2 golden chances to end the game and can't convert either. The Heels outshot High Point 29-5, but this game ends in a disappointing draw, 3-3. The memory of the football team's 52-7 loss to Clemson has been haunting John Bunting for 2 weeks. While he's wrapping up last-minute game plans for Saturday's game against Miami, sports reporter Brian Allen has the story of what Miami has meant to Bunting and what his team will need to do to beat the Canes again.
Snap, spot, kick away, high enough, long enough. It's good! It's good!
The scene leading up to Saturday's game against Miami is very similar to the build-up to 2004's upset of the Hurricanes. A blowout loss, a bye week, then the big game.
Well, here I am with a team that a year ago, Miami we beat in Keenan, you know. Every day was like a lynch mob. Everybody wanted me fired. Bad play.
No way, Jose.
So I learned a little something from Dick Vermeil. Me and Don spread voodoo up and down the field. I saluted our song like nothing was wrong. And every time fans passed, they were like,
Fire,
y'all see that? Another Louisville loss. Had a few wins. I'm still the boss.
2 years later, John Bunting is feeling the same pressure from fans and alumni to turn his team around. Connor Barth, the freshman hero from the upset, has shaken off his sophomore slump and is perfect on field goals and extra points as a junior, and could be the go-to guy at the end of a close game. Cam Sexton will have to return to his form from the Furman game and move on from his lackluster performance against Clemson last week. Finally, the D will have to clamp down against Miami's explosive offense after giving up over 500 yards of offense 2 weeks in a row. If all of these things come together, Bunting might be singing again at the end of the game.
Miami, the team that makes my contract extend.
From Chapel Hill, I'm Brian Allen, Carolina Week Sports.
The game against Miami is this Saturday at noon and is being carried by Raycom Lincoln Financial. If you've ever pretended to do a karate chop and said, "Hi-ya!" you should be ashamed of yourself. You should also be interested in a different sort of martial arts class happening on campus. Ashley Perryman has the story.
Every Tuesday and Friday about 5:30, the walls of the women's gym start to shake. It's not an earthquake, it's UNC's Monkey Kung Fu Club. This low-to-the-ground acrobatic martial art is a test of the endurance and grace of even the instructor has been studying the art for 18 years with his master in Hungary, and since coming to America, he's been passing along the style to eager students. The instructor was kind enough to show me a few of the simpler moves. It is much harder than it looks. He says it's not about violence or even self-defense.
So you're doing one movement, one Kung Fu move perfectly, then you call yourself a master or a Kung Fu practitioner, but it's really about perfecting yourself, becoming the best person you can be. And fighting is really just a kind of like a side thing in Kung Fu. You're really learning to control yourself, your thoughts, your spirit, your mind.
He now practices 5 basic monkey styles. The tall monkey, which incorporates acrobatics. The stone monkey, which has very solid, hard strikes. The precision monkey, which concentrates on pressure points. The tricky monkey, which aims to confuse opponents. And the drunken monkey, which speaks for itself. If you're looking for a few kicks, you can join up with Hinar any Tuesday or Friday. From the women's gym at UNC campus, I'm Ashley Perryman, Carolina Week.
I went with Ashley to that shoot. I'm telling you, it's a fascinating style.
How's my form looking? Is that good? Is that about right?
I might need to see you at the practice.
Thanks, Brandon.
The typical middle school experience includes football games and awkward school dances.
But some middle school students flex their brains for a different kind of experience. We'll show you what it is coming up.
Yeah. Hi, could I get a number 2 with a lemonade, please?
Could you make that a number 5 and make it a chocolate shake?
Number 5 with a chocolate shake. What are you doing?
I'm ordering for you.
No, actually, I'd like a number 2
with a chocolate shake.
With a lemonade, actually. Sir, could you please stop that?
I just wanted to order a number 5 with a chocolate shake.
I'd really like you
All
to
right,
stop
lady.
I'd like you to stop it.
No.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Chess isn't a game for the faint of heart. It takes great skill, endurance, and dedication to beat your opponent.
Jennifer Carpenter reports from Durham Academy Middle School, where 12 students are taking it to the board.
Chess. It's not an easy sport to play, but 12 students at Durham Academy Middle School are training for national competition. Carolina Week is tracking their progress.
Well, my parents say it has like good problem-solving skills. The more games they play, like if you win games, your rating tends to go up. So most people start at around 500 to 1,000, which is an average beginner's level. Then they start going up some. That's the USCF rating. Some tournaments, they are like really big tournaments, like the national grades in Florida. It'll be like over, 2,000 people.
The national grade in Orlando, Florida is less than a month away. So as the kids get ready, they train in tournament settings.
Anyone can learn how it works. It takes a lot of skill to get like really, really high.
Chess promotes strategy, good sportsmanship, and love of the game. So why do these kids love chess so much?
I like chess because it's something I'm good at.
We don't blame you, Rodney. If we were third in the state, we'd love chess too. At Durham Academy Middle School, this is Jennifer Carpenter, Carolina Week.
I don't know, I think we need a little more practice before we can take on those middle schoolers.
I think you're right. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching. Good night.